It is Taco Tuesday, and I have a great keto, paleo, instant pot recipe that I think you're going to love. I'm Elizabeth Hines from our Paleo family and the Autoimmune Free Cooking Club, and it is Taco Tuesday, and it also happens to be Cinco de Mayo when I am filming, and so I thought, is there something I could do that would be kind of festive? We're in quarantine. We're not quarantined really, because we're not sick. We're stay-at-home order. We can't go anyplace. There are no sports. We can't go see movies. Let's see, could we, I don't know, maybe have a themed dinner night and dress up? So my lovely husband, who at some point in his college career went to Mexico and got this hat, this sombrero, and it is big and it is really heavy, and I'm glad we didn't give it away because it's awesome and perfect for celebrating Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo. So tonight, we're going to make taco soup. So this is taco and rice soup, and it's super, super easy, super, super fast. It's all the goodness of a taco, your favorite Mexican food, in a soup form. Fast. You could get home from work. This is assuming you're going to work. Get home from work, get it started, and have dinner totally on the table in like 20 minutes. And I am going to do a couple sort of substitute things tonight because this is all happening during coronavirus and I just don't have what's actually in the recipe. So I'll give you those substitutions as we get there. So I have 1 pound of grass-fed ground beef and I have 2 links of chorizo sausage. The recipe just calls for 1, but when I went to the store last time, they had it. They don't always have it. This is the one I get from my local Whole Foods. It's in the meat case. It has good, clean ingredients. We like the flavor of it. It's not too spicy, but it adds a lot of flavor. And so, like I said, they don't always have it. And when they do, I'll buy a couple. And I bought a couple, and then I usually separate them because when I make tacos, anything taco, I use 1 pound of ground beef and 1 link of chorizo. Well, I got home with all those groceries, like a month's worth of groceries, and I forgot to separate my chorizo. I just stuck it in the freezer. So when I got it out to thaw, I got both of them out to thaw. So we're having 2 links of chorizo. I'm going to lose the hat because it's super duper heavy. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you find something fun to do during this crazy, crazy time. So all we're going to do is brown this meat, or just get it cooking. You don't even have to brown it. We're just cooking it. And my ground beef, so I just got this out of the freezer yesterday afternoon, kind of late in the day. And so my ground beef was a little bit frozen in the center. It's fine. Okay, so my recipe calls for an 8-ounce package of cremini or baby bella mushrooms. Our vegetable supply is dwindling, and I only had a half of a package, so I've got about 4 ounces of mushrooms, and these were starting to go bad, so I did really need to use them up. I don't have any canned mushrooms. As I've gone grocery shopping through this pandemic, what I have found is plenty of fresh produce, but the frozen and canned departments have been pretty well wiped out. I've gotten a couple cans of green beans, frozen cut okra, which we love okra, and I like the frozen kind, so I mean that's what I would want, but I know a lot of people don't like okra, and so I think that's why that was available. So I've got several bags of okra, but I don't have much else. I had a bell pepper, I have some onions, I think I have some potatoes. I don't want potatoes in this, and I don't don't want a bell pepper and an onion because I'm putting in salsa. That's what makes this super fast and easy, is I don't have to chop up that many vegetables. I'm putting in a jar of salsa. I really need to reorganize here because I'm having to reach way over. So the recipe calls for the 8 ounces of mushrooms and then a zucchini or a yellow squash. Either one would be fine. But I don't have either one. I have neither one. But what I do have is a little bit of kale. You know, that's all I got. Actually, I have some spinach. I might grab some spinach and put that in too. This was this red leafy kale. I hadn't seen this one before. I was looking for just the traditional green, like dinosaur kale. And they didn't have it, but they had this one. And it's been 11 days since I went to the grocery store and really bought a month's worth of protein and kind of accessory type things like oil, avocado oil, almond flour, like I said, meat. I got cod, salmon, I got some chicken, some ground beef, I have some pork. I'm totally set on protein. I'm just running out of produce. We actually still have some clementines. My kids eat those clementines like 3 or 4 of them a day because they don't want to take vitamin C, so they'll just eat a lot of citrus fruit, which is fine with me. So I have some clementines left. I have lemons and limes, which, you know, I cook with those. We're not eating lemons and limes. Yeah, we're running out of produce. I was really hoping to not have to go back to the store for a month, but I'm going to have to go get some stuff. But as of now, anyway, I'm making do. So I'm going to put in my mushrooms and my kale. In just a minute, I want to, if my meat were not frozen, I would go ahead and add the veggies in now, but I want to get that little chunk of frozen chopped up. My salsa is just vegetables. Usually, this is the one from Aldi. They have a really good organic one, which is what I typically buy. And they had it, but I was just in a rush and trying to avoid all the people when I was there. I grabbed this one thinking, oh, it's the same. It's just a larger jar. And then I got home and realized, oh no, this one's not organic. But it still is good, clean ingredients, if I can read them. Just crushed tomatoes, jalapeno peppers, onions, vinegar, salt, onion, garlic. Oh, it does have natural flavor. Ugh. Natural flavor is who knows what. It's not really natural. Other than at the very, very beginning of the process, it starts as something natural, like the scientists roasted a chicken, and then they broke down the flavor profile of that roasted chicken, which is a natural thing, and then chemically in their lab, they created a roasted chicken flavor. So I don't know how they get away with calling that natural flavors, but don't be fooled. Don't think that natural flavors means you're getting a natural product. That is not true. If you're buying something and it says natural flavors on the label, you can just assume that's really artificial, and you would do better without it. Okay, so I broke up that piece. I'm just going to add my veggies in. So again, about 4 ounces of the brown button mushrooms. You could use white. You can use any kind of mushrooms you want. If you have dried mushrooms, that would be great. Perfect. No problem. I'll often use mushrooms with something, with a beef dish, because you can use less meat and the mushrooms have sort of a meaty texture. You could actually make this vegetarian and use a bunch of different types of mushrooms and still have the same flavors. Okay, so that's my meat, my vegetables, and then I'm going to add some seasonings, which are very simple. And your seasoning, you might want to adjust it once you've cooked your soup, because it's going to depend somewhat on the flavor of your salsa. But I just put in a teaspoon of salt. Let me do that first so I don't flavor my salt. And then a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. half a teaspoon of onion powder. If you love cumin, you could add cumin. Paprika would be good in this, smoked paprika. You could add a bunch of different seasonings. I'm just keeping it simple to make it easy on myself. But also, the chorizo has a lot of flavor. That's why I started putting chorizo in with my ground beef when I made tacos, because the chorizo has so much flavor. So if you're looking for shortcuts like that, that's a great one, you know. Instead of having to put in a bunch of different spices, adding the chorizo saves me a lot. And I know the quality and I know the ingredients in that chorizo. So that's important. You've got to understand or keep in mind the quality of the thing you're adding in extra. I hope that makes sense. And that's it, everybody. That's it. Then we add in our liquids and we go. So I have a can of full-fat coconut milk. This is the Native Forest Unsweetened Organic Coconut Milk Classic. And it's very creamy. So that's adding this sort of creamy component to our soup. That full can goes in. Lots of good natural healthy fats. This is a great keto recipe. And then a jar of salsa. Usually I have a smaller jar than this. I won't use all of this. My daughter likes to eat salsa for a snack. This is the 24-ounce jar. Usually I think they're around 15 ounces in a normal size jar. Just whatever you have. It's soup, right? So it can be extra liquidy. It's totally fine. And then right here, this is an extra ingredient. So we had tomato soup. We had grilled cheese with some gluten-free bread that my parents brought us. We had grilled cheese and tomato soup for dinner a couple nights ago. And I just made way too much. And so we had a lot of the tomato soup left. So I'm going to put a couple cups of that in here. It's just not crushed. It's tomato sauce, some cream, which I think in that case I used heavy cream. I might have used almond milk. I can't remember. And a little dash of cayenne pepper and a little bit of honey to sweeten it. And it tastes like Campbell's canned tomato soup. It's really yummy. So I'm just adding some of that just because we have it and we are not wasting right now. We have, I mean, can I toot our own horn here? We've done a really great job of not wasting any food through this pandemic. We've always been pretty good about that. My husband loves to eat leftovers for lunch. So we're not super wasteful, but I mean, whenever I clean out the crisper drawer, there's some rotten stuff in the bottom of it, always. But we have been really, really good about not wasting anything. Now, we've had some weird food. Last week we had something that started out as my Paleo tuna noodle casserole, and it ended up just being casserole because it had just a bunch of random bits of stuff in it. But I wanted to use those things up. And because my family just loves it, I'm going to add in some actual rice too. I'm not going to get that all the way to the bottom. I'm just putting it in, kind of tapping it into the liquid there so it is all submerged. It won't cook properly if it's not submerged, but sometimes it will prevent my pot from sealing if I stir it in and that rice settles to the bottom. So that's it. Everybody in the pool, and then we turn it off, we put the lid on, and we cook for 10 minutes, which just kind of brings it all together. Or if you're using the rice, it gets the rice done. So 10 minutes. What has this been? Just a few minutes, no more than 10, getting everything in there. And then I'll show you how we put it all together and everybody kind of makes it their own. Okay, so I quick released the pressure, cooked for 10 minutes. There's a lot of volume in there because I added the extra tomato soup. So when I said earlier, oh, you could have this ready in 20 minutes, that was a little bit of a, well, it wasn't a lie. I wasn't lying to you, but it took longer to come up to pressure because I had that extra volume in there. The more full you have your pot, the longer it takes to pressurize and the longer it will take for the pressure to come down naturally. So it did take about 7 minutes for my pot to come up to pressure. In the past, when I didn't add extra liquid. It was like 4, maybe 5 minutes, then cooked for 10, quick release. So the 15 minutes of cooking time, and then about maybe 10 minutes ahead, of the browning the meat and stuff. So, 30 minutes or less, definitely a 30 minutes or less kind of meal. And then I quick release my remaining pressure. Just be careful when you take your lid off. There's a lot of condensation on the inside, and if you just pick it up and, this hand gets in the way, or a dog or a little kid or something, that condensation will absolutely burn you. So just carefully set it to the side. Or, you can, I don't rest my lid here in these handles, but it does rest here. I'll show you. In case you're brand new to the Instant Pot, they rest just like that. I just don't do it for TV, because I'm a professional. So that's not in your way. So I just took the lid off. I'm not faking anything here. I can see my rice just right under the top. Does this look good or what? It smells so amazing. Remember, I added that half a cup of regular rice, which would make this not paleo and not keto. But you absolutely can leave that out. We all do fine with white rice, and so I will add it sometimes. So let me show you how I'm going to make this up. I'll do my husband's here in this lovely pink bowl. He'll love that. So, actually, you know what? I need to taste it and make sure the seasoning is good. So, it's super duper hot, so I'm going to wait for just a second. Oh, I'll show you what I just made while this is cooling. So this is not a mug. Obviously, this is a mixing bowl. But I have been, I've been making my own version of a baking mix, like Bisquick, a paleo version of that. And then I've been creating recipes to make with the biscuit mix. I feel weird holding that and this in the other hand. And so, have you seen these mug cakes where you just put like a tablespoon of flour and a teaspoon of sugar and an egg, and you mix it up and pop it into the microwave for a couple minutes, and out comes a cake? Well, so I've made like a snickerdoodle version, so I put some cinnamon in it, and I was experimenting with that biscuit mix, and oh my goodness, y'all, it was like a spur of the moment thing to see if I can make a quick little dessert for the kids. And I'm just going to totally mess it up. I'm going to stir it over so you can just see the texture. So my biscuit mix is kind of lumpy because it has the fat mixed in. In this case, it's paleo, so it's a palm shortening. And so you can see a little bit of that didn't completely mix in, but it baked up perfectly, and it smells really yummy. So that, I think, is going to work out. Okay, let me give this a taste. So good. Gosh, it reminds me of something. It tastes a little bit different because I added that tomato soup, but it gives it a little bit of a different flavor, like a restaurant meal. I can't think of what it is. Do you ever have that, like a flavor brings back a memory? Like, I'm getting a memory when I eat this. It's like something from my childhood, or maybe when my kids were little. I can't figure out what it is. But it's delicious. I would actually add, would I add tomato soup all the time? I don't know. That might be kind of weird. Okay, so we had some fresh corn that I cut off the cob the other night. Corn is a typical Mexican type food. He's going to love that. He's definitely going to want some cheese. This is just some yummy grass-fed cheddar. Instead of buying a bunch of avocados that I tend to let get overripe, I love to buy this mashed avocado from Costco. They're these little individual sizes. They're perfect for if you're taking your lunch or something. I would often take 2 of these and a big baggie of carrot chips and other veggies, maybe something like a plantain chip, for sort of a treat. And they're just organic avocado, lemon juice, sea salt, and pepper. And it just has a great flavor. And that's what so if I make guacamole at home, I'll do avocado, lime, cilantro, salt, and pepper. So it doesn't have the cilantro. It has lemon instead of lime. But it really has a great flavor. I really love it. And like my white chicken chili, I will stir one of these into my chili, and then it gives it this creaminess, so I don't need cheese or sour cream or anything. It's a great way to have something dairy-free and really great nutrition in here, good fiber, and it's just a vegetable, you know, with the seasonings in it, so that's a great paleo keto addition. My kids will surely want some chips. This is the Simply Nature brand, which is from Aldi. I'm just kind of bragging on Aldi because Aldi gets kind of a bad name because you have to learn what you can get at Aldi, but if you have one near you, they have amazing organic produce and amazing prices, really good artisan cheeses, lots of grass-fed cheese and butter and that sort of thing, great pastured eggs. These chips are organic yellow corn, organic expeller pressed vegetable oil. So if you're going to consume a vegetable oil, expeller pressed is where you want to go. And then salt. And so and they're like $1.69 or something. So I feel okay about buying this for my family. If I'm going to have chips with mine, I would either have plantain chips, which we don't have any right now, or these 4505 chicharrones. I love this flavor, the classic chili and salt. They're a little bit spicy, but not too spicy. I'm not a too spicy person, but these make a great keto, paleo dipper for your soup. This giant bag came from Costco, but you can buy them at Whole Foods. I think I've seen them at other grocery stores. Costco started carrying that big one, and I've bought them. I first got them from Thrive Market. So there's our taco and rice soup. Again, you could keep it totally paleo and keto. Don't add the rice, just add the cauliflower rice. It's just as delicious and yummy. Chop it however you want. Mine, I'm going to have some soup, and I'm going to put some avocado. I'll just mix that in, maybe eat a few chips on the side. Perfectly content with that. I'm going to taste my cake, though. That's so good. That was a teeny bit of my baking mix. A sprinkle of cinnamon, an egg yolk, vanilla, a little dash of salt, a little baking soda. It was, literally it was like 30 seconds. I mixed it together, microwaved it for 2 minutes. And that's a treat. So I'll show you that one too. All right. Okay. Sorry, that's really cheesy. I apologize. Happy Cinco de Mayo, happy Taco Tuesday, happy quarantine, happy shelter at home, happy just quick weeknight family friendly meal. I think everyone will love this one, especially you, the chef, because it is super fast and easy and is really adaptable to whatever your diet is right now. All right, I hope you make it a great day, and I will see you next time.